Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a really good night. If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Sebastian. I welcome you guys with open arms. I do tea videos and also I do calming ASMR-ish style videos, story times. Did that curtain just move? It did because my dog is right behind me, bitch. Ooh, girl, I almost got really, I was like, what, bitch? But listen, you guys, so I am so grateful that you guys are enjoying. Mateo, please. I'm so grateful that you guys are actually enjoying these longer, calming videos. I really appreciate it, and you know, I love getting to know you guys a little bit more and you guys getting to know me a little bit more while relaxing. So grab your tea, grab a snack. I'm going to be talking about one of the most spontaneous things I've ever done. And I think it's a really fun story. So get comfortable and let's talk. So, this was, oh shit, very ASMR, huh? All right, so this was, hang on, okay. So this was, I believe, in 2011, that's Jax. So this was in about 2011, and I was in an island. My family, most of my family actually lives in an island in Colombia. And I was in the island, and the one thing you should know about this island, there's really not many openly gay people. There just isn't. And like the gay people that there are, it's very minimal. Hang on. It's cozy vibes, right? So, so it's very minimal. There's really not many people. There really isn't a LGBTQ plus community there. So when going out or when, seeing straight couples, on the beach and holding hands, and you're like, oh, I wish I had that too. And this was really before like any kind of dating apps, like, well, at least I didn't know of any. So I had some friends, and we went to a bar, and I remember that night I just wanted to have fun. I was going through a very difficult time with my family at the moment. So I needed an escape, and I needed to just honestly get drunk and have a lot of fun. Well, it turns out that when I went to the bar with a couple girlfriends, they wanted to call it a very early night, and I'm talking about like 10 p.m. early. And I was like, fuck. So I, got as tipsy as possible, but I knew that, it just it wasn't gonna go anywhere. Plus, I was like super upset with my friend because it was her boyfriend's bar. Like, he was the actual owner of it. And like, I used to smoke cigarettes back then, and she smoked too. And one thing that really annoyed me was that, like, I would go outside to have a cigarette, and I asked her like twice if she can come with me, but she was just worried about being behind the bar, making sure her boyfriend doesn't talk to any other girls. So I was just honestly so annoyed that night. Well, I went back home, and I was staying at my aunt's place, and she was nice enough to, I guess she saw that I really needed like an escape. I really needed to have some fun. I'll tell you why a little bit later on, maybe in another video, but I was going through a really hard time, and she saw that in me, and she was like, well, it's really early, and I'll have some drinks with you, but there's this hotel that has a club in the rooftop called Ecstasy. And she said, why don't you just go? And I was like, wait, go by myself? She said, yes. And then I was like, I don't know. So she was nice enough to like have some cocktails with me and like gave me some liquid courage. So I put on some Brittany honey. I started drinking and I was like, yes, bitch, yes. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. So I got in a taxi and I wasn't drunk. I was like cute tipsy, you know, like when you feel like really good. And so I got to the club and I go upstairs to the rooftop, and it was super cool because like the first drink was free because you pay like a cover and then you get a free drink. So of course your boy got like the strongest drink possible. Well, it was I've been there before. It was like a really nice club, and there was so many people. So I went to like the outside kind of patio and had a cigarette. And then I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? So I just got like a drink and I sat down. And mind you, I've never been to a bar by myself. Like, ever been to a bar by myself. I've never, nothing by myself. And I didn't really have any sort of expectation. Like, I wasn't looking for anything. I was just like, maybe I'll make some friends. You know what I mean? Like, let's just positive energy. Well, I sat down and I just remember like sitting in a table and getting my phone and pretending to call, like to talk on the phone. So I was like, I was speaking English because I thought, well, you know what? If I speak English, I think people will gravitate more to me because they're like, oh, what's his story? Like make me a little bit more mysterious, like. And I went to the bar and I noticed this girl and this guy, and they looked they looked my age, blah, blah, blah. So I got on my phone and I was faking a call. So I got on my phone and I was like, oh my God, Amanda, wait, you're not coming? Are you serious? Like, what am I supposed to do now? I don't know anybody here. I'm like so alone. And like the girl was literally right next to me. So, and I could just imagine like how cringy I was looking, like, Amanda, I'm all alone, like trying to get this girl's attention. And when I hung up the phone, honestly, I was like, I'm gonna go. Like, this is just not worth it. And as soon as I hung up with Amanda, she turns around the girl and she's like, hey, where are you from? In English. And I was like, oh, I'm from Miami. And she goes, oh, I love Miami. I'm like, where are you from? And she was like, no, I'm from Colombia, blah, blah. So she was like, I overheard you're alone. And I was like, yeah, my friends totally ditched me. And I don't want to go back home. I wanted to have some fun. And she goes, well, you can stay with us. And I was like, with us? And she goes, yeah, my friend and me. And I was like, oh, okay. So her friend turns around and, cute guy. I would say maybe like 6 foot, brown hair, kind of longish, medium build, cute, very good looking guy. And he shakes my hand, I shake his hand, whatever. And to be very honest with you guys, like the last thing I wanted was any type of like guy. I didn't know if he was straight or gay. I just wanted friends. Like I just wanted to have fun. So we went to their table. I went to their table, and it was just them two. We got to know each other a little bit. They were from a city called Cali, and we started drinking. We actually got a bottle of aguardiente, which is like a typical Colombian drink. You drink it in shots. It's actually made out of anise from sugar, I believe. I don't know, bitch. It's delicious. It will fuck you up, bitch, okay? Well, So I whatchamacallit, we were drinking, blah blah blah, and then she didn't smoke, but he did. So the music they were playing, it was like very, Colombian. It was like reggaeton, salsa, and it was like very once in a while. It was like a pop song that I like love. So anytime a pop song would come out, I would enjoy it to the max because I'm like, this is probably gonna be like one pop song and then like 17 like songs I don't know and then another pop. So I went to go smoke with the guy, and honestly, like I got zero, absolutely zero vibes from him. I wasn't even like considering it. Like it was so far ahead. I mean, our sexuality never even came up when we were getting to know each other. I did ask him, like, are you guys together? And they're like, no, we're like brother and sister. So I was just smoking out, I was smoking outside. We were smoking, blah, blah. And then he tells me, he's like, hey, are you gay? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, what is this man going to do to me? And he's like, oh, no, no way, me too. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay, girl, okay. And I was like, okay, girl, okay. Well, then like a chip switched in me. Like, honestly, like a chip just fucking switched. And I was like, all right, girl, okay. So when we went back there, like we kept drinking, and it was like, I think it was probably like 3:30 or 4 a.m. So they were there in the island for like maybe 3 more days, and we exchanged numbers, and we said goodbye. He walked me home, or they both walked me home, and because I think their hotel is actually quite close. Well, the next day, I woke up super happy. And I told my aunt, I was like, oh my God, I actually met someone. And remember, in the island, there's really not many chances for you to have a summer fling or any kind of, if you're gay. So she got super excited for me. She was like, oh my God, you should see them again. So I tried texting her, and I didn't get a response. Tried texting him, didn't get a response. And I was like, fuck. Well, I remember actually so vividly that I was starting to go on the treadmill when he texted me. And he's like, hey, hey, exclamation. I just remember like him being super excited. Hey, we want to see you tonight. And I was like, oh my God, yes. So I was like, yeah, of course. Like, let's, amazing. What do you want to do? And then they wanted to go back to the club, to the ecstasy club. And I was like, okay. So we went back there, and I wouldn't say he was flirty. I wouldn't say I was flirty either. I honestly think like we were just so happy to have found each other, because we all spoke English, and like she was so sweet. And she was so cool. Like I felt like, oh, friends, and I needed this escape. So so that night, we partied, and then she had the crazy idea to go to the beach. And mind you, it's like 2 a.m. now. And in the island, people typically do that. Like after the club, which is so dangerous, they go to the beach and they go swimming, or they go hook up or whatever, or they keep drinking in the sand. So we went to like a little, so pharmacies over there are 24 hours and they sell alcohol. So we got some alcohol, and we went to the beach. And when we got to the beach, like she took off her clothes, he took off his clothes, he was in his boxers, and I was like, okay, I'm not taking off my clothes, and I'm not gonna get in that ocean and get fucking eaten by a shark, because no, bitch. Okay, I'm probably so drunk, I'm gonna probably have hallucinations, and I'm seeing Ariel, fucking the Little Mermaid, and I'm like, oh my God, Ariel, hey girl, and I'm gonna fucking swim into the damn dark of the sea, and it was just, no, I was like, no, bitch, I'm not going. So I stood in the sand, you know, like a little cute, beached little cute whale, and I was just like there in the sand. And if you laughed at that, comment below. And he kept saying, hey, come in, come in, come in, please. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Mind you, nothing, no chemistry, nothing, like nothing. I think I had more chemistry with the girl. Well, I go in, we go in, and it's like so warm. It's so beautiful, and like we're just like literally floating. Floating, it was so nice. So as I was floating, I was literally like I was having the time of my life, bitch. I was floating, I was drinking, it was nice, it was cute. The palm trees, the sand, the warmth of the ocean, amazing. Well, I feel him coming from behind me and literally putting his arms around me. And listen, you guys, I do that very easily. Flinch, is it flinch? Flinch? I don't know the word, but I do that very easily. So, bitch, it is dark. It is 3, 4 a.m. I'm in the ocean. Don't fucking come behind me. You know what I mean? So yes, bitch, I went like this, and it literally just went like that. Luckily, nothing terrible happened to him, but he like kind of yelled a little, and then he's like, no, 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 I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And instead of me saying like, I'm so sorry, I wish that wouldn't have happened, I was like, you shouldn't have come behind me, bitch. And I asked him, I'm like, by the way, what were you doing? And he's like, well, I just wanted to hug you. And I was like, okay. And then I don't know you guys, but like I've always had a good sense if someone liked me, and I never suspected he liked me. And had he told me he was gay, I never, ever, ever thought he was. I mean, he zero any stereotypes you want to like put on gay guys, he had none. So he was like, well, you can make up with almost breaking my nose if you actually let me hug you. And I was like, you want to hug me? And he said, yeah, I just think it would be kind of nice to, you know, hug under the stars. And I just remember like saying, okay. And his friend was like, yeah, just fucking hug already. And then she came and she was like, ugh, you guys just fucking kiss already. I'm so tired of seeing this. And again, I'm being very honest with you guys. I had no intention of ever kissing him. I didn't see him that way. Nothing. But as soon as the bitch said, he's been wanting to kiss you since he met you, Sebastian, I was like, I'm like so easily like manipulated. And I was like, wait, I think me too. You know what I mean? But I mean, look, I wanted so desperately to have a romance. So I was like, well, fuck it. So he hugged me from, you know, he was from behind. We were like floating. It was actually quite innocent and cute. And then we were kissing, and we shared our first kiss. And it was like cute or whatever. But like it was very strange because his friend kept like talking to us, and she was like, oh, I just really want to meet a boy too. Like, you guys are so lucky, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, what? Like, my dog's drinking water. I was like, wait, okay. So he wanted to get a little more frisky, and he started like touching my booty, and his anaconda was rising. And listen, you guys, the one thing you should know about me is that I'm not prude, but I'm not a one-night stand type of person. And I love giving guys blue balls. Like, I will kiss you. Like, I used to be a kissing whore back in the day, bitch. I can kiss anyone, girls, boys, whatever. And like, I will kiss and we can make out and all these things, but like it will never go further than that if you are not my boyfriend. And I don't judge anybody who does. I mean, for many years, like in my youth, I would see my friends like have one night stands and everything, and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I'm like crazy about that because I don't think emotionally I can take it and not seeing the person ever again. I would literally be like that crazy one night stand that just never went away, probably. So anyways, he wanted to get a little more frisky, and I turned around to him and I was like, look, I think kissing you is amazing. I really don't mind it, and if you want we can kiss some more, but I hope that, you know, he was on vacation. So I said, I hope you're not wasting your time because I don't think anything's gonna happen between us. And I told him that because I didn't like him. I just thought it was nice and sweet to make out with someone and like flirt a little bit. But if he told me right then and there, like, oh, okay, so there's another guy that I think is cute. Do you mind if I go see him? I would be like, no, girl, go do your thing. Do you know what I mean? It was just more like it was like a situation under the stars in the ocean. You're floating, you're a little tipsy or drunk. So that night, nothing happened. And the last night, which was the night after, they came over my building and we hung out in the pool area. And for some reason that night, I was just so invested talking to her because I kind of wanted him to get like I wanted him to have his space. And like, I even told him, like, look, if you have someone, because we were gonna have, you know, a couple drinks, just hang out by the pool. I was like, if you have someone you want to bring, totally okay with me. He was leaving the next day. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. So he was very quiet, and I was just talking to her. We're having a couple cocktails, very, very easy because they had an early flight anyways. So he came, he stood up, and he grabbed my hand, and he took me to the bathroom. And he said, I need to have you right now. And I said, you need to have what right now, boo-boo? And he said, I need to be with you now. And I told him, I said, look, I told you last night that nothing was going to happen. And, you know, that's it. Like, I don't have to explain myself. So he's like, okay, can we at least make out? And the thing is, it's like, at that moment, I felt really kind of weird because he was a very good looking guy and he was very sweet and he was very, very kind and really funny, I remember. But he, like, kind of didn't get it or understood that what we had was a kissing thing one night, and that I was very clear with him, drunk or not, that I did not want to do anything with him. So he started to get a little bit forced. Like, he started sort of forcing himself on me, and I stopped kissing him, and I went outside and I told his friend, I was like, look, he doesn't get it. He doesn't know how to say, he doesn't, no means no. And he came out and he sat down and he said that he was so sorry. He said, I've never done this before. And when I say he was getting forced, it's like he was, like, he pushed me against the wall and just started like really, really like make out with me, like just started like touching me. And like when we made out the night before, it was very like sloppy, drunk, cute. It was, you know, so he apologized and I was like, look, it's okay. I'm glad that you realize what you did was not good. And just use this for the future. Do you know what I mean? I was cool. Like, it was their last night. I mean, they chose to spend most of their vacation with me, and you know, I believed when he said that he just got carried away. So that night we had a great time. We drank a little bit more. We did not kiss. Well, he left. So this is a little bit funny, and I'm so exposing myself on this one, but um, about a year afterwards, I had moved to Colombia, and I was actually living in Bogota, and I was working PR for MAC Cosmetics, and I remember that I was in an event for a product launch, and I worked the party, and then when the event was over, we decided to have some cocktails. And it was like after like a 16-hour day, like everything went good, the product sold out, blah blah blah. So I remember I got home and I was a little tipsy and very turned on. So I went to the computer. I'm so exposing myself, to look at, and then I saw that he this was back when like MSN Messenger was a thing, you guys. And he said hello in the I had a message from him, and I was like, oh, hello. So I said hi, and we were just like talking, and I was very, very tipsy and flirty, and we were like going over that night. And I told him, I was like, well, had you been more of a gentleman, maybe you would have gotten a little bit more. And he's like, oh, really? And then, we started chatting inappropriately. And he turned on his camera, bitch. And the rest is still unwritten. Well, listen. He definitely showed me everything he wanted to do to me in the ocean and in the bathroom, bitch, okay? So we did our thing. And then it was the most awkward thing, you guys. Like, we just talked for like 3 hours. We ate dinner together, like late dinner. We had like a tea. Like, it was so nice. And like him and I both agreed it was like the perfect closure of what would have been an affair. We even called his friend, the girl, and told her what we just did. So crazy. And yeah, I mean, look, I've done like the whole camp thing when I was like, really young, like 15 or 16 years old. Oh my God, did I tell you guys when I did it at Wiccan? Oh my God, girl. I'll tell you about that in a second, but but with him, I felt very spontaneous. The whole thing with him was very spontaneous, and it was like an unfinished business type thing. So yeah, but after that, we never, ever spoke again. Ever. Like, when I tell you ever is ever. Like, after that night, his friend, the girl, she like wrote me like maybe once or twice, and then never again. Anyways, you're getting 2 little story times in this. Okay, so this was back when I was like literally 13 or 14 years old. Like, I was so young, and Yahoo Mail was a thing, and chat rooms were a thing. And like, oh my God, now that I like realize, like, it is so dangerous. Honestly, no, it really is. But I went into a chat room, and it was like teen boys looking for teen boys, like something like that. So like young looking for young. So I started talking to this guy, and I don't remember his name, but so we ended up on a relationship, like online relationship thing, literally only typing, and literally he would only put his camp. I would never put my camp. Well, he told me he was a Wicca. And there was this one time that we honestly, you guys, like, I would chat behind my mom's back. Like, I would turn off the computer. She would come in, say goodnight. We would do our prayers, and then she would leave. And, I was always such a good boy, so she never really had to, like, take anything away from me or anything like that, like technology-wise. Like, when she said lights out, it was lights out. But he was like, you know, it was like my first online relationship, and we would like chat for hours, and his mom would come on the cam and tell me that she really wanted him and I to be together and how sweet this was, and she wanted to meet my mom and all these things. Well, when he told me he was a Wicca, I got very, very like scared, because he said, well, if your mom and dad don't let you be with me, we're Wicca and we can make things happen. I just need to know like how your mom is, what she looks like, all these things. So I, crazy as Sebastian, I was like, oh my God, this is scary. So I told him that my mom was a singer, and she's there's a really famous Mexican, I think she's Mexican, singer called Olga Tañón. No, she's not Mexican. I think she's Puerto Rican. She's definitely, I think, Puerto Rican or Dominican Republic, one of those two. I think Puerto Rican. Olga Tañón. And I told, like, honestly, Sebastian, you really should have, like, now that I think about it, I'm like, I was like the worst. Like, nowadays you can find shit out like this. But I told him that my mom was Olga Tañón, and that they were, oh my God, I remember this like it was yesterday. And I told him that she was Olga Tañón and she was on tour. Girl, crazy, crazy Sebastian. So I just remember that him and I, like, we would chat every day I got back from school. We actually upgraded to phone calls. So I would call him and I would use *69, and it would block out my number, and we would literally talk for hours. He was like in a very small town, and I remember being, I think I must have been like 14, but I remember actually us like planning our like life together. Like at that age, you know, when you're, at least when I was growing up and you're gay, you can't really have a normal crush. You can't really have or back then you really couldn't have your normal boyfriend relationship, or you know, anything like that, because you know, it was difficult to be gay, I guess, in my time. Bitch, I am not 70, okay? Calm down. But you know what I mean. Like, you watch, like, Cinderella Story or, like, Mean Girls. Like, you don't have the gay thing. So, for me, it was very nice to have that. And we would say, I love you. We would talk about our wedding. We would talk about how it would be, like, when we were older. Like, who would move where. It was just so nice. And, like, it was zero sexual. Like, absolutely zero sexual. We were literally just like in love. And the weirdest thing happened. So one day I turned on my computer. His screen name was, it was like Wicca Boy, like 123 or something. It was just like, I know it had like the Wicca Boy in it. One day, totally disappeared. When I tell you I grieved, bitch, because every day after school, I would literally hop on, we would talk for hours. We would literally just stop talking when we go eat dinner with our parents, come back to the room, and just chat. Phone calls, everything stopped. I never saw him online again. I was so sad, you guys. Like, sorry, I just remember being so sad. And I think I did try calling, but no one would pick up. Totally disappeared. And it wasn't because his parents found out, because his mom, she was like, if your mom doesn't understand, you can come live with me and I don't care. Like, you know, so she knew what was going on. Very weird. Never heard or saw him again, but isn't that cute? I dated a Wicca boy. Bitch, I'm a mess. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very messy story time. I think it's so funny about, like, I was watching the show Pen 15, and I think this is also what kind of inspired me to talk about like first crushes and you know now that I'm married, I that part of my life I do like to keep private to a certain extent, but going back down memory lane is so nostalgic. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Definitely, I'm so grateful that you are, and it means so much to me. And let me know what topic you want me to do next. I asked you guys the other day, you said story time, but I think maybe if you guys want me to do, what do you guys want me to do? Let me know in the comments below. Well, I love you guys so much. So grateful that you're enjoying these videos. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please comment below.